So if I said to you, what do you want? What would you say? Right now, if I were a genie and I came out of the bottle, but you only had 60 seconds because I was going to go back in 60 seconds.
To feel completely healthy all the time.
Fantastic. Okay. So let's say done. You feel completely healthy all the time. What would that give you? Close your eyes and imagine yourself feeling completely healthy all the time. What is the felt sense of that? How do you feel in your heart when you're healthy? The body feels healthy, but you're not the body. So how does the deep you feel when you're healthy all the time?
Free to do what I want without hindrance.
Great. Free. Freedom. It takes most people anywhere between 10 and 30 steps to get there. You watched her just do it in one. Freedom. Freedom. If she weren't already quite so deep, and she had begun by saying that what she wanted, let's say, was a lot of money, and you then ask, okay, imagine you've got a lot of money. Then what? Well, then I can buy whatever I want. And, okay, imagine you can buy whatever you want. Then what? Well, then I will feel happy. Imagine you feel happy. Then what? And you keep going. And what you find ultimately is at the core, actually our highest and deepest yearning is for freedom. It isn't actually even happiness. Most of us think of happiness as the core goal, but we're only happy when we are free. So, how many of you are happy to be sitting in this room right now? Raise your hand. Great, well, thank you. Now, imagine that I say, lock those doors, nobody can leave. And you have no idea how long those doors are going to stay locked. But suddenly my face changes and I start to look very authoritarian, terrifying. And I say, nobody's getting out of here. Now, how many of you are happy to be here? A significantly smaller percentage. Happiness is contingent upon freedom. Freedom is actually the core of what we want. Now, the beautiful thing about knowing that, and even if we take happiness, let's even take them both, it actually makes things very simple. Because what we know is that I don't want a superficial level happiness, because then I have to keep refilling it, and then I'm not free. If I'm only happy lying on a beach in Tahiti, well, it's not a very full experience of happiness. It's certainly not a free experience of happiness, because then I'm only able to live on a bikini in Tahiti, which has significantly limited my freedom. If I'm only able to be happy when everyone around me is doing what I want, treating me the way that I want, acting the way that I want, it's not a very free experience of happiness. This is where stress builds up. This is where arguments in relationships build up. You better do this. Why? It's for your own good. No, it's not. It's for you. Whenever we tell people it's for your own good, what it really means is it is too anxiety producing for me when you don't do that. Therefore, I need you to do that. I'm going to convince you it's for your own good. But really, it's because I can't manage my internal anxiety when you are not acting in the way I want you to. Well, that's not free. So if what we really want is freedom, spiritual freedom, and a joy and a happiness that doesn't go up and down based on what people in the world are doing, what it means is that all of the things that we think we want, like that job, to go to that university, that house, that boy, that girl, that body type, that skin color, that hair type. Suddenly, the need for all of that dissipates. It doesn't mean we don't have preferences, but it means we realize ultimately what our core want is, and that our attachment to those preferences is actually pulling away our core freedom. If I'm dependent on how you act or how you speak to me for my happiness, I'm not free. If my freedom is my highest goal, then I better figure out how to be in peace regardless of what you do. How to be in peace regardless of how you talk to me. How to be in peace regardless of whether I'm in a bikini in Tahiti or in a suit and tie on a subway in Manhattan. That's freedom. And so what that means is that the choices we make in life are choices in favor of freedom. But freedom, remember, is not a license to decadence. That's not free. We think of it as freedom. We think of rebellion and hedonism and decadence and all of that as freedom, but it actually isn't, because what I'm doing is I'm rebelling against, reacting against rules and norms and dharma and sanskaras and whatever, which means I'm just as stuck. Whether I'm doing what they say or I'm doing the opposite of what they say. Either way, what I'm doing is due to what they say. So freedom to do whatever you want, when that's your highest want, what that means is that you need to figure out how to cultivate the courage within you to do that. May God bless you with always a healthy body. But illness comes. Injuries come. It's part of the package deal of having a body that's made of matter that degenerates and that's subject to all kinds of rules of nature and mosquitoes and bad water and all sorts of other laws of nature and how they impact us. Gravity, how it impacts us. The real freedom is freedom on the inside. And that freedom is going to be yours regardless of the health of the body. Because otherwise you find yourself scared all the time about every pain, every illness, everything like that. Okay? And just because they're young and clearly also thinking about, well, what do I want to do? What path do I want to walk? Realize that your highest freedom comes when you're able to really serve as an instrument of the divine. That it's not about your attachment to, I have to make this much money, I have to have that title, I have to be better than this guy, I have to achieve that. When your aim is, how can I connect myself to the truth of myself, to that experience of the divine, I then become a tool in the divine's hands. And you will be used. You will be utilized in an extraordinarily beautiful way that neither of us knows. But it will be a way in which you experience freedom inside, because that divine is flowing through you, and a way in which you're able to actually also be of a ripple impact benefit to those in the world. But we only know that when we're anchored and grounded, because that's the only way when that flow flows through us. Otherwise, it's all about the mind, it's all about the ego, it's all about I should be doing this, shouldn't be doing that, this is beneath me, that's my potential, this is... And that's where we get lost. So we connect, and in that connection we find courage to step into the world, the full, blossomed, open-petaled flower that we are, and to give that fragrance to the world.